Hey everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be doing the June 2020 monthly tarot reading for the sign of Aquarius. Please keep in mind this is a general reading, so it's not going to apply to each and every one of you. However, you can take a look at this month's reading in regards to your sun, moon and rising signs. So if you take a look at your natal chart, see the corresponding zodiac signs and see which video's title resonates for you at this time, okay? That will best apply for you. In regards to the layout, I'll be using a Celtic cross style spread using the Wild Unknown Tarot, and then I'll be clarifying further with the Rider-Waite deck. So, Aquarius, what's going on with you this month? I know we've got a lot of significant shifts and changes going on, especially that tonight is, well, currently actually, we have the full moon in Sagittarius. So significant shift, big changes. We're also in the pre-shadow with Mercury retrograde. So yeah, lots of shadow work to be done. There's a lot of things coming to the surface now to be readdressed and for healing, especially karmic situations. So we'll see. Just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's been liking, commenting and subscribing and also sharing my videos. It means the absolute world to me, so thank you so much for being a part of my growing online community. If you haven't subscribed already, you can do so, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you don't miss out on your readings, okay? And just to say a quick thank you to everyone also who checked out the live discussion that I hosted on Instagram about a week and a half ago with Nature's Galaxy. That was awesome. Natalie of Nature's Galaxy. It was really good fun. Lots to talk about, lots to think about, especially when we were discussing so many aspects to do with tarot and also spirituality in general. So if you didn't get to catch that live, you can watch that on Instagram. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find the link to Instagram there, and it's on IGTV, or you can actually watch it here on the channel because I did format the video here so you guys can watch it here also. So do check it out. It's definitely worth a watch. Okay, so get the last card for you and we'll go into it, and then once we're done, we'll go through the clarifications. So, in regards to your present circumstances, you have the Ace of Swords in reverse. So this is your energy, Aquarius, along with Gemini and Libra. So I feel like with it being in reverse, it's a case of there's something you're holding back on. You know, there's something you feel like you're itching to express, or you feel like needs to be said, needs to be done, right? In order to take a significant change in direction, right? But you might be holding back on that for now because there's something you feel like you need to know, some information that is not currently in your awareness, or you feel like it would be wise to hold back at this time from doing that. You may feel an impulse to speak your mind, but you feel like that might cause more problems. So you're trying to kind of keep the leash on essentially at this point. So we'll see what that's in relation to when we clarify. With regards to your challenge at this time, you have the Four of Cups. So water energy, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. I feel like with this being in the position of your challenge, it's a case of you're trying to find new ways of possibly vocalizing your emotions, vocalizing your intentions, you know, how you truly feel, without it being, without it come across as immature or impulsive, right? Something that's kind of being able to express it in a more mature way. So you may be really at this time looking at developing your emotional intelligence, right? Because maybe the way you express your emotions in the past didn't always get taken in the right way, right? Sometimes it was misunderstood because of the way in which you vocalized how you truly feel. Maybe it came out impulsively or in an argument, and you know, you would say things that weren't necessarily that wasn't in line with how you truly felt, but just came out in, you know, a fit of anger or whatever. So you're trying to find new ways to express how you truly feel, or maybe it didn't quite have the your words didn't have the potency that was needed to express how you truly felt on a subject, right? So you're having to reassess how you vocalize your feelings, right? And what you feel to be the case or what is right, etc. So that's your challenge at this time, learning how to find a way in which to effectively communicate your true feelings, right? Without it being misunderstood, misinterpreted, or receiving backlash, pretty much. So in regards to your feelings at this time, King of Swords, your energy, okay? So this is you and your element. So with this here, I feel like you're still, you're still very much set in your ways, okay? So you're like, okay, I know I have to find another way to express myself because so far the methods I'm using isn't working. But I do not want to change who I am. I'm still me. I still act a certain way. I still operate in a certain way. I'm very much in my zone, right? And I don't want to rock the boat when it comes to me being in my zone. I just need to find a new way to communicate effectively what it is I truly think and feel. But yeah, you may be reluctant to do that though, because you are very set in your ways, is what I'm feeling from this at this time, okay? But generally you're feeling, I think you're feeling quite, like, not out of sorts as such. I feel like you're feeling quite yourself, feeling very much in alignment with how you operate and how you do things, like I said, but there is this energy of being kind of set in your ways and maybe being a little bit stubborn to explore this new way of thinking or communicating or expressing yourself, okay? So in regards to what's crowning you at this time, so your energy and what's within your power to affect, you have the Nine of Cups in reverse, so more water energy. This is saying that, while it's, necessary to know when to act and when not to act, when to speak, when not to speak, and to be very, but still be very honest with yourself and whoever you're dealing with, and being, coming from a place that's authentic. You also need to be aware that maybe being so standoffish in some ways and reluctant to change in this aspect is not actually serving your highest good, okay? That maybe you do need to explore these new approaches. Maybe you do need to be a bit more flexible and a bit more forgiving, okay? And especially if someone says to you that there's something that's upsetting them or bothering them, it's important that you don't lash out and you don't respond in a way that's only going to cause more damage, right? Because people have the right to express their feelings, just like you have the right to express your feelings. But it's a slightly weird path for you, because you don't usually express it necessarily in the same way that other people do, right? So that's where you're not seeing eye to eye with certain people and certain connections, because they don't understand you when you try to express how you feel and what you think, and you don't understand why people feel the way they do and why they express themselves in the way they do, right? So I think that you may look at things very differently from those around you, and you may not be so willing to express your emotions most of the time. You try and keep them close to your chest, is what I'm getting. So in regards to your recent past, you have the Hanged Man in reverse, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. This is the perception shift. This is you coming to realize that, maybe the way I'm approaching things isn't the best way for me, or for trying to meet people in the middle, right? Because wires are getting crossed and people are not understanding what I'm actually trying to communicate. So you're having to reassess how you communicate, how you express your feelings, getting it to the point where people actually understand what it is you're actually saying and what you're actually thinking and feeling, right? So you're realizing that maybe the problem doesn't lie in, a conflict of interest or anything like that, but just in which you and others are communicating. In regards to your near future, you have the Eight of Cups. Okay, so this is you realizing that maybe some event comes up in June, sometime in June if it hasn't already, and you're like, God, this is actually not working. Like, I need to go off and really think about this and reassess what I'm doing here, because this is not working. My point is not getting heard. I am not being heard. How I'm feeling is not being understood. So I need to go off and think about how can I best get this across, because what I'm doing right now is not working, pretty much. So in regards to your advice, you have the Eight of Wands, or I believe, sorry, the Seven of Wands. Okay. No, it is the Eight. My apologies. Oh, what is going on with me today? Anyway, Eight of Wands. Okay. So this is talking about, you know, communication. This is talking about action. This is talking about passionate communication from a place of ultimate authenticity. Okay, this is coming from deep within. This is, you know, your higher self kind of speaking out, right, to a degree that it is undeniable what it is that you're actually vocalizing, right? So this is your advice. Okay, it's asking you to go within and express what you feel deep within. Allow it to come from your center, rather than you being so bogged down in your mind in trying to think of the perfect, you know, terminology, the perfect grammar, you know, wording things in such a profound way. Just allow it to come from deep within you, okay? Allow your you know, higher self to do the speaking on your behalf, and then it will become so clear on what it is that you're truly thinking, truly feeling. Because if you overthink it, then things are more likely to get muddled. Whereas if you just allow it to come from within, from a place of deep knowing and truth, then your voice will be heard by those who need to hear it, and they'll come to understand it, right? It will become clearer. That's what I'm getting from this. In regards to your external influences, you have the Ace of Wands, okay? So this can be places, people, environments, and circumstances. So everything surrounding you at this time. This is telling you that there is an opportunity coming in, right? There is someone or something that's coming in that's going to assist you with tapping into, you know, your highest aspect and speaking your truth, right? Without being bogged down by, you know, your concerns, where your rational mind comes in and tries to quash it and prevent you from doing that, right? Someone is going to spark that within you, so you have no choice but to allow it to come out, to you know, it's express yourself, you know, from the, you know, most profound way to, you know, just making a simple statement, right? But it's going to be very clear, and it's going to be, you know, full of that inner knowing and just truth, right? It's going to come from a place of passion, rather than you overthinking and just being dogmatic with it, right? It's going to be passion filled. And I feel like there is a new connection coming in that's going to help you with that process, right? And it's also to do with, you know, with that connection coming in and, you know, embodying that energy, it's going to trigger that within you, okay? In regards to your fears at this time, you have the Father of Cups in reverse. So this is King of Cups, okay? You have a lot of water energy here, so you could very well be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Either way, I feel like with this being here in the position of your fear, it's like you're having a hard time to really ground your emotions. Like I said, I feel like maybe sometimes your temper can get flared up, or you might reject people at this first sign of them not understanding you or questioning you or not agreeing with you or challenging you in some way, right? You might just push them away, or you might say something hurtful to protect yourself, right? You try and defend yourself, keep them away from your heart space, set up those higher walls. But you're understanding that that's causing or is causing you a lot of pain, because then you push people away, right? So you're worried that if this new connection does come in, and it's a significant one, there's a lot of passion in it, you're afraid that you're going to push it away, that you're going to do what you've always done and reject it because you're not emotionally grounded, because you haven't invested in your emotional intelligence and maturity, right? So that's something you're having to look at. I feel like intellectually, you're very switched on. You're very, people see you as very smart, very bright in that way. But I think when it comes to your emotional intelligence, you kind of shut down a little bit. So that's something to be aware of. In regards to your hopes, you have the Two of Swords in reverse. So your energy, yeah, you're hoping that there is no need for confrontation. There's no need to go, between extremes anymore. That you can just find this easy, nice, balanced middle ground where you can express what you need to express, that it's understood, that you can have an amicable exchange without it becoming a fight, right? Pretty much. You just want to be able to have a conversation and it not become something more, right? Something dramatic is what I'm getting. And then in regards to your potential outcome, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So I like that as a potential outcome. That is, you getting things just right. You doing what you need to do, understanding where you need to put the work in, and leading by example. Literally living it, right? Living the work that you put in. And you seeing that, yes, that was exactly what I need to do. Now things are changing. This is not an issue anymore, right? So, perfect. I love that. Okay, so let's have a look now in regards to the clarifications of this reading. So this should give us a little bit more insight as to the kind of situations that this is playing out in and certain connections. But yeah, you're making progress though. The fact that you're already kind of aware of this and you're trying to find a solution and find ways to approach this in a different way is good. But there is a slight tendency to kind of revert back to your old ways of thinking, right? So that's something you have to overcome. But you'll get there. I believe you will. If you keep moving forward, you will get there. Too many cards. Too many. Okay. Again, way too many cards. Thank you. And finally. Boom. Alright. Let's get into it. So clarifying your present circumstances, the Ace of Swords in reverse. You have the King of Cups in reverse this time. And you have the Queen of Swords. So you've got the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So you could very well be dealing with a fellow air sign, possibly a water sign. You could have water in your chart. With the Queen and King here, as well as the Knight. Yeah, this is this is a significant leg of your journey. Right? It's getting you to reassess where you've been you've been operating too far on the left brain way of operating and thinking, right? It's coming into your awareness that there needs to be some level of equilibrium there. Well, yes, you may be, more so left-brained in your approach, and that's fine. That's part of how you are. There's nothing wrong with that. You do need to tap into your sensibilities a little bit, okay? And I feel like that's what's being communicated. That's why you're having to hold back, and hold your tongue maybe on something, because, otherwise it's going to come across as kind of cold and very like you're trying to, stab the knife in, dig the knife in the wound, that you're very defensive, that you're not trusting, that you're not taking any bullshit. Like, it's just very like hard energy, right? And you need to, and you're not like at this present time, you're not softening, right? You're not softening to the skills needed in order to reach someone on an emotive level, soft skills, as they talk about in business. And that's what you're having to look at, right? Because you're not operating in that energy. It just comes across as, you know, if you speak up on this matter now, it will just come across as bitter and angry and, you know, full of resentment. It's not going to come across as someone who, you know, is sad and just wants to heal that aspect, that wants to reconnect, you know, patch things up, you know, express connection and care and love in the situation. It won't come across that way. So that's why you're having to hold your tongue for now and do the inner work, okay? So in regards to what's crossing you at this time, the challenge, the Four of Cups here, you have the Temperance card, Sagittarius could be relevant, and you also have the Sun, Leo's energy. It's funny because your card did come up in Leo's reading along with Sagittarius, and you've got Leo here with Sagittarius, so you could very well be dealing with a Leo or someone who has Leo strongly in their chart, right? But either way, I feel like with this being here, it's a case of you're understanding where you need to create that equilibrium, as I was saying, when it comes to balancing your emotions, communicating your emotions, right? Understanding that, while yes, you have been through pain, it's not been simple, it's not been easy. However, this is shining a light on the areas of yourself that needs healing, so that when you go to communicate your feelings, it is coming from a more authentic place. The energy is more balanced and it's just coming straight from the heart, as I said, and that it's going to be recognized. The energy and the intent behind it is going to be immediately recognized, so that the both of you can come together, heal what needs to be healed, allow the pain to be alchemized into something far more positive, right? So there can be happiness in the situation again, inner peace, right? So in regards to your recent past, the Hanged Man in reverse here, you have the Five of Cups, or more water energy, and you have the Six of Pentacles, so earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So, yeah, something you deemed as a loss forced you to change your perspective. So maybe there was something that you were kind of certain that you would obtain, or something that would kind of work out, but it didn't, okay? Either you lost it, or they left, or you walked away. But either way, I feel like whatever happened, you weren't expecting, and it forced this instant shift of perception, right? It forced you to look at things differently, because it was something so unexpected, but it had significant consequences. You know, it caused you a lot of upset, and you were realizing that maybe there was imbalance in the situation and the connection, that maybe in order to get things on track, in order to heal yourself, you need to find equilibrium within yourself, right? Or maybe you felt like, you know, the attention or the affection or the energy that you were once getting from this person was now being given to someone else, and that made you feel very, very left out and upset, right? That hurt a lot, I feel, and that forced you to go into this new into this realization that maybe the way you were conducting yourself was not actually aligned with how you truly felt, right? That maybe you were coming off as like, you know, not being so emotionally attached to the situation, or not really caring how things kind of pan out, but the reality was you cared a lot. And maybe you're realizing that maybe that partially played a role in that, right? I'm not saying that you were responsible for what happened, but maybe you're realizing that you not vocalizing your true feelings on a matter also led to this. Because it's funny, I got this for Leo as well, and it was like the same thing. They didn't vocalize how they truly felt. You know, they was expressing themselves one way when it was actually another, and it resulted in this situation. And you're getting pretty much the same thing. So you could very well be dealing with a Leo, but either way, I feel like that's pretty much what happened. Both parties did not express themselves, you know, 100% authentically, honestly. And that led to the situation becoming what it currently is. In regards to your near future, the Eight of Cups, You have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So we've got two eights there. 8 and 8 could be relevant to you. And you have the Nine of Cups, okay, in reverse. So you're going off and thinking about this in the future. You're going to kind of detach yourself, and rather than banging your head against the same wall, using the same tactics and not getting anywhere, you're going to create some separation, walk away, you know, detach yourself from the situation and go deep within to look at what you've not been doing work-wise within yourself, what needs to be worked on, you know, because you're understanding that you can't change or affect what someone else is going to do necessarily, you know, free will and all that, right? However, you're not going to get any positive results by using the same tactics when it clearly doesn't work. So you're going within and you're really focusing on what areas of yourself needs working upon, right? Self-development, self-love, self-healing, self-care, all of these things, right? Because you're understanding where you haven't been putting the work into yourself and how that's affecting you and also your connections, right? You're not happy, you're not feeling at your best by any means, right? Because you've not been focusing on your own self-care, you've not been focusing on, you know, your personal growth, your development, right? Maybe in some areas, but not in others. So you're having to look at that and take care of yourself at this time. In regards to your feelings at this time, the Father of Swords, so this is your energy. You have the Knight of Swords, and you also have the Fool in reverse. Oh my gosh, Leo got this as well. Leo got the Fool in reverse, but in the external influences, and this is in your feelings, right? So, oh my gosh, this is so you. But anyway, it's the case here that what is being said is that while you're kind of being reluctant and stubborn and standoffish, you know that something needs to be done, okay? There's kind of a stalemate between the two of you because neither of you wants to, you know, budge on this, but at the same time, you're feeling the need to do something about it, right? Before you lose the opportunity to, you know, start afresh with this, within this connection, right? Because you're aware that this person's kind of very hesitant, very resistant to the idea of pursuing that in any way. And you know that if you don't do something at some point, you're going to lose the opportunity. But at the same time, you're like, there's still things I need to address before I can do that, right? And from what I saw in Leo's reading is they're understanding that they need to do their work as well. And that rather than lying about, you know, not wanting to look at this situation anymore, they need to be honest about it and understand that the reason they don't want to look at the situation anymore is because they don't want to look at themselves anymore. But they have to. They have no choice, right? So in regards to your advice here, the Eight of Wands, you have the Moon card in reverse, Pisces energy, and you have the Ace of Cups. So you could be dealing with a Pisces as possible, or have it in your chart. Regardless, with it being here in your advice, it's like, yeah, allow the love to spill over, allow the love to come forth from within, and allow that to do the speaking for you, allow that to drive you forward, okay? Because that's the reality, okay? That's how you truly feel. There is a lot of love in this situation, particularly from your side, right? There is so much love here. And when you actually just go in with the intention of just purely expressing your true feelings, how you truly feel about this person or this connection, that's when you'll dispel any confusion. That's where there'll be no way of muddling what it is that you're trying to communicate, because you're just expressing pure love, right? That's what you're being asked to do at this time. So amazing. Okay. In regards to your external influences, the Ace of Wands, especially with that fire energy here, could very well be a Leo. Anyway, you have the Four of Swords in reverse, and you have the Nine of Wands. So yeah, this person has still got a lot of healing to do themselves. They are very standoffish because they're feeling vulnerable, you know. They're feeling out of sorts and feeling like, you know, that they're going to be harmed again, that if they take a risk on this connection, that they're going to go through it, and that they don't have the energy to go through the pain again. So they're having to do a lot of inner healing, and they're having to address the elements of their shadow that's showing them what hasn't been healed all this time, right? That ended up coming up within this connection. So they're having to do a lot of work themselves, right? So you're both kind of taking a time out in order to do what is needed on both sides, right? Oh, I didn't clarify what's crowning you this time, so let me do that first before we move on. In regards to what is crowning you, the 9 of Cups in reverse, you have the Queen of Wands and you have the Ace of Pentacles. What can I tell you, man? Like, I'm telling you, Leo energy, such Leo energy. Anyway, you know, it's like, what's being communicated here is that when you're able to understand that, you know, by making the necessary changes, it's going to benefit you. Because you got the 9 of, where was it? 9 of Cups. Yeah, in the position of your near future, you had the 9 of Cups in reverse as well. And you got that energy crowning you. So with your stubbornness and your refusal to, you know, take a new approach, even though I feel like you will, you're slowly warming up to the idea because you know that needs to take place. You're understanding that it's not serving you, that it doesn't bring you any closer to your happiness of feeling content, of feeling good within yourself, you know, and you're having to really take care of yourself because right now you are not, okay? So you're understanding that that's something that really needs to be addressed, right? And this energy is all about self-care, you know, being self-assured, confident, feeling good, looking good, right? Mind, body, and spirit, right? So you're aware that you're not in that state right now. So that's something that you need to really bring into your attention, right? Because you see this person and you feel like, God, they've got it so together. Like they're incredible, right? They don't feel like it. They see themselves like this right now, but you see them like this, right? But that's the thing, you know, you see each other in such a positive light. It's just, you both have your own shit to work on. And essentially, once you both working on getting into this space where you're both feeling confident, balanced, feeling aligned, passionate, you know, good, healthy, you know, confident, then new opportunity to make amends, right? In regards to your recent past, in regards to your fears, the King of Wands in reverse here, you have this, you have the 6 of Cups in reverse, and you have the 8 of Cups. So we've got 3 8s here, okay? So 888 could also be relevant to you. This is all about a change of fortune, change of karma, right? Doing the necessary work to get the wheel of fortune moving in your favor again. It's that kind of energy. So this is it, you know. In regards to your fears, you're finding it hard to do this work. You're walking away into the sunset to go into hermit mode and reflect on where you've been, where you are, and where you want to head. And you're finding that hard. You're like having to sit with yourself and be vulnerable with yourself. And you're even reluctant to do that. So not only do you feel uncomfortable being vulnerable in front of others to the point where you pretty much don't do it at all, you'll find it very hard to be objective and open and honest about your true feelings and, you know, sit with yourself in a space of vulnerability, right? Maybe you find it hard to cry or to release emotions as well. But you're like, I just, you know, in your fears, you're like, I'm afraid that this person is just going to want to walk away, that they don't see anything worth holding on to within this connection, even though I feel like there was so much potential, there was so much love here, there was so much joy, right? But they're not, I'm afraid they're not going to see that, and they're just going to walk off towards something else, you know? That's what I'm getting from your fears. In regards to your hopes, however, the 2 of Swords in reverse, you have the Knight of Pentacles and you have the 6 of Wands. So you're hoping that you're like, okay, I know this is a work in progress. I know we're both doing our own work. It's going to take time. Healing doesn't happen overnight. However, I'm hoping that while we're doing that, we can make slow steps forward together, right? And that it will lead to something very passionate, very positive, right? So I think you're hoping that by doing the work together, you know, doing the work, obviously you have to do it individually, but by supporting each other in this process, that you can both move towards something beautiful together, right? That you can, you know, simultaneously heal yourselves and heal the connection, you know, by taking steps forward together, being a support to one another. That's what you feel like is the answer at this point. So that's what you're wanting. That's what you're hoping you can accomplish, right? And then in regards to your potential outcome, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Sorry, not in reverse. Sorry, the Ace of Pentacles here. Why am I wanting to say that? I don't know. You have the Tower here, so associate that with Scorpio energy. And you also have the Eight of Swords in reverse. So yeah, you know, it's like, you know what needs to happen, and you're like, okay, if I do this, which I know, I can tell is the right thing to do. I know it means making a significant change, right? That it's going to be like really hard to do, and it's going to be shocking to this person, you know, because they never thought that I would come out of being trapped in my own mind, in my fears, in not being able to express myself properly. But if I do this and I do it right, this is going to change everything. This is going to be like so shocking and such a, you know, revelation to this person that it might actually give me the chance to move things forward, right? To start afresh in this connection. You know, so that's what's basically being communicated, that it's going to be such a shock to this person, and it's going to be such a change in how you approach things, that the wheel is going to be turning in a whole new direction. It's a whole new wheel, essentially. So that's crazily powerful. That's very, very powerful. And yeah, I mean, this is it. You know, if you put in the work, if this other person puts in the work, if you can express yourself purely from the heart, you know, without fear or concern, and not worrying about the terminology, but just allowing your heart to speak for you, and not be afraid of being vulnerable or, you know, having to guard yourself in any way, then you have an opportunity to really turn things around completely, right? Because this person is not expecting you to do that, because you haven't done that this far. But if you do that, that's going to set the wheel in motion, right? Into a completely new direction. So I can't tell you if this person's going to, you know, be on board and want to get back with you, or, you know, want to, you know, heal the friendship or the partnership or whatever it is. But I feel like you can at least change things so that you guys do not have any hostility or miscommunication or, you know, ill feelings. You'll at least be on good terms, right? Amicable, pleasant, right? Things will be more positive, and you'll free that pressure off both of you for sure. So definitely worth thinking about. I hope that helps you. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And yeah, Aquarius, I wish you all the best in this. I know it's not an easy road for you. For those of you who this does resonate for, because I know this is not going to apply to every Aquarius, of course. Very specific people. But if this does resonate, I know this is not an easy path to take, but it's going to be so rewarding for you, especially with your future connections and how you navigate through life in general. So I'm sending you lots of love, lots of encouragement on this process, in this journey. And I look forward to doing your shadow work reading very soon, which is going to be probably very significant to this. So take care, and I'll speak to you soon.